Okay, so anyone that has missed it, you would be able to catch up afterwards because I am busy recording it. So just that you are aware it is being recorded. And the chat box is enabled, so you guys are able to ask any questions as we go along. I'll try and answer things that are applicable as we go along, but there will be a 10-minute Q&A or however long we need at the end and how long my voice lasts for. So welcome everybody, and it's nice to see there's a whole range of people from all over. So a lot of you from South Africa, and I saw Ghana in the house and South Korea. I think yesterday we had someone from Botswana, and I saw Lesotho from today as well. Yeah, it's going to be up for a few days. So, Celeste, so you'll be able to catch up over the weekend. So I will send out the link again sometime probably tonight or tomorrow morning as soon as I get everything done. And then you'll be able to just catch up in your own time. I know everyone's busy in the week, so it's nice when you can like actually catch up over the weekend and have a little bit of time to catch up something. That's what I like myself anyway. Okay, so let's have a look. So today is day 2 of the free workshop for online teachers. If you are wanting to succeed in this industry, that's what we are here for, just to get a little bit advice and tips. I think most of you were in yesterday. If there's anyone that is new tonight, maybe just say it's my first time. I haven't been here. But if you were here yesterday, then that's really great. Okay, so, but if you are new today, then maybe just say it's your first time. Okay, Rebecca, great. Awesome. Okay. Oh, okay, well, okay, we've got a few new people. That's really great. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to confidently shift from another first. Wow, that's great. Okay, shift from being overworked, underpaid, and undervalued as a teacher to having a thriving online teaching business that allows you to work fewer hours while earning more than what you previously were earning. Um, I spoke about myself a lot yesterday and what I did. So I'm not going to go into too much detail of that again. But I have taught about 15,000 lessons online. I started off working for a school, a Chinese school, and then I moved on to a marketing platform. I'm still on the marketing platform, but I have a lot of private students now too, which is really great because that's where you're going to be earning more money. So it's kind of a progression that you can go, like a journey that you go on. Okay, so I am here to help you get started and get along and get started along the way. Okay, so let's have a look at this. So on day 2, we're going to be looking at exploring different online platforms and tools for teaching, lesson planning and materials, engaging and managing online ESL classes, managing students' behavior in the classroom, and creating a positive classroom environment, which I think is always really important because that really helps your students to learn and get started. Uh, and just how to actually really manage their behavior in an online class. It's very different than being in a traditional classroom. I'm Kathy. For those of you that are here for the first time and haven't met me before, I love traveling, reading, meeting people from different countries. I love family life, having time to spend with the family. Just want to let them in and helping others to set goals and achieve them. And I'm extremely passionate about helping teachers create freedom in their lives and the way that they teach. I've always been a teacher since I left school. I'd studied, became a teacher, worked overseas in the UK for 9 years, came back to South Africa. So I've taught in the UK, taught in South Africa, and now I teach online. So it's really great. I started my first online teaching job in 2019. So I've been doing it since 2019. Learned a lot along the way compared to where I came from. I stopped doing working on an online for an online school to move over to working on a marketing platform, which allowed me to earn a lot more an hour. And I always make about $2,500 a month, sometimes a little bit more, depending like what my month is like, which in South Africa is quite a good salary. I've helped quite a lot of teachers, hundreds of teachers actually get started because on the marketing platform I was teaching on, I was a teacher mentor on that platform. So I did help a lot of teachers, interview a lot of teachers, and help a lot of teachers get started. Okay, so it's kind of where my passion lies. I really enjoy doing that. So where I am now, um, I create my own schedule. I schedule my work to fit around my lifestyle. I stop trading my time for $10 or less per hour. I know when you start, you're going to start probably for less than $10 an hour because nowadays the salaries that they offer are a lot less than what they were a few years ago. And so it's just sticking it out and getting the experience so that you can start learning more and really upskilling yourself so that you can put yourself out there to get those better jobs. So now I have full control over my income, my schedule, and my life. Okay, so even if you have a degree, yes, even if you have a degree, Celeste, sometimes they start you even with a, but you have more choice with a degree. Like you can apply to different companies that maybe you can't apply to if you don't have a degree. But a lot of companies have cut their salaries from what they were paying, like say 5 years ago to what they're paying now. There's a big shift in what they actually pay. So sometimes you have to start for a lower salary and you have to work your way up. But once you get that experience, and you start earning the higher wages, it's a lot better. Yes, there's a lot more places that will take you if you do have a degree. Let's say there's a lot more places you can apply to if you have a degree. If you don't have a degree, there's still a lot of places that you can apply to, but your starting salary will probably be a little bit less and you've got to work your way up a little bit more. It helps if you have like um, some certificates for some different things as well that you can add in to that. It will also help you and stand you in a better stead. Okay, let's go on. Okay, so I want to know from you guys, what is your goals? Like, what is your why for wanting to teach online? Let's just have a look and see what everybody is thinking about. Why do you want to teach online? I'm just going to hang on for a minute or two just to see what you all come on. For me, it was definitely I wanted to be able to work wherever we were going. If we wanted to have the flexibility, then that was what I was really after. I just wanted to be able to work from home and also be able to be there for my family when I really needed it to be. Okay, so I see flexibility is one that's exactly the same as me. Financial freedom, and that's definitely something that you can build towards if you're building your own teaching business. I love the freedom and flexibility online teaching brains. That's right, right? I was saying, and you wanted to work on your own terms. Okay, again, financial freedom. These are all the things that working online gives you. Flexibility. I think a lot of people, flexibility is a big thing, especially if you are a stay-at-home mom or you are a mom that you're wanting to be able to be flexible for your kids as well. Let's see, Manette is to free up my schedule and not work till all hours of the night with admin that comes with being a class teacher. Okay. And exactly. And I think also with a class teacher, there's all those extra responsibilities and stuff that you do have as well, especially when it gets to the end of term. And that's, let's see, Bernadette says, I want to have flexibility to be there for my kids. I also have a passion for English and find so much fulfillment in helping someone achieve their goals. Yes, that's one. I love your goal. That's really great. I love your why, Bernadette. That is like what it's all about. And like just I did give the example yesterday, I think, but for those of you that weren't there, like for me this last week, my granddaughter went in, and this is the second time in 2 weeks she's been in hospital, and I was able to be there for my younger granddaughter. So I was able just to take off time and not have to ask a boss, or I could rearrange my schedule, fit students in on different days, and be there for my family when they really needed me. And that's what it's all about. It's like having that flexibility that you can actually live your life. Cynthia says that you can help someone else's children if they struggle with work or exercises. Exactly. You're helping them and you help. And the great thing is, like, when you see them developing and you see them starting to really progress in English, especially if you have the same student for many years, like I've had some of my students for 4 or 5 years, and you see how they have started and what they like now, it's like such a huge difference and how you've helped them to get there. Kristalina says, I want to have more time for myself and be able to be flexible. I'm tired of overworking myself for someone else and don't get paid accordingly. Exactly. Okay. I enjoy connecting with others and helping them express themselves. Also like doing things on my term. Their achievements are your achievements. It's so true, right? Isn't it? I did see someone here. I want to give back to the community. I was awarded an opportunity to further my studies in South Korea. Oh, you're from South Korea. So I feel like I have to give back to those who need English as a language. I also like sharing information to those who need it to. Great goals. Well done, guys. You know, sometimes it's nice to write your why down, like to have a reason why you're doing things. Because, when you start teaching online, sometimes it's a little bit tough in the beginning before you get over that tough period. And it's great to have your goal written down that you can look at your goal and you can say, this is the reason why I'm doing this, and go back to your goal and say, this is what I want to achieve, or this is my why. So when days are hard and days are tough, you can go back and you can look at your why, and it helps you just to keep going. It's like such an important thing to have a goal and have a reason why you're doing something. Okay, let's head on. Okay, so I'm going to just tell you about my membership right now in the beginning, so I don't have to do it at the end, and then into we're going to head into what we're going to be talking about tonight. Okay, so would you like to have someone who can help you and guide you over every obstacle so that you can build your thriving online teaching business and attract high-paying clients while using proven methods and strategies so that you can finally start living lives on your term as a teacher? Okay, so option number one, you can try to go this alone with no guidance and support from an expert in the field. This runs the risk of you struggling to lay a solid foundation and missing the mark on attracting and converting students. Sorry, I'm just letting somebody in, and not getting hired. Okay, or option number two, you can 100% commit to taking action, changing the trajectory of your life by becoming a successful online teacher so that you can claim back your power and freedom as a teacher. And I went for option two. I got myself a mentor. I got myself someone that helped me in the industry because I was like completely lost. And it wasn't just really about teaching, because I wanted to go into like creating a teaching business. So afterwards as well. So I wanted to have someone that helped me with the business skills. Yes, Yolandi, number two. That's really great. Um, I wanted someone to help me with my business skills, and I wanted to be able to really thrive and develop. So I don't want to be stuck in the same place. That's how I am. When I was teaching in England, it was really great in the UK because there's always some way of doing professional development when you're working in schools there. And I've got this many certificates of all the things that I did when I was there. And it's just really, that's how I am. I'm motivated, I'm goal driven, and I like to be able to develop myself. I don't want to stay in the same place. I don't want to look back next year and I haven't moved the needle forward. I haven't changed the way, and I haven't changed what I'm busy doing. So for me, it's really important to have somebody that can help you give back your power and help you to develop and get going. Okay, so I'm going to just tell you about my membership quickly, and then we're going to head back into what we're busy doing tonight. Okay, so Teach English with Kathy B membership is a one kind of program, and it shows you exactly how to start your online teaching business by providing step-by-step systems, guidance, and support to get you started the right way. Remove all the guesswork and uncertainty that comes with the territory so that you can become an online teacher with ease and confidence. Okay, that's what we are all about. Okay, and you can learn proven strategies, gain support, and grow your online teaching career with a thriving teaching community. So I'm wanting to create a really good teaching community that's going to help you and support you along the way. And there's going to be daily, weekly, and monthly trainings to help you along the way. All the things that I have learned. We're going to look at how to build a solid foundation for your online teaching business using proven methods, how to create a teaching brand that stands out and attracts the right people, how to navigate tech. We remove all the overwhelm. Sometimes it's so overwhelming when you start, and the tech is just really like hectic in the beginning, and you don't understand like how to do all of the tech stuff. But remove that because we're really going to go into all the tech in a lot of different details. How to deliver and create successful demo lessons. You're going to know how to build a successful resume, learn how to create a successful career as a teacher, how to manage and run your own business. We provide you with templates, trackers, worksheets, so that you have clarity around each step going forward, how to overcome common problems in the classroom. You're also going to know the step-by-step process to async trial lessons, because you're always going to have to do a trial lesson. Even when you're working for yourself and you're an independent teacher, you're going to still have to do trial lessons. So it's like really an important thing that you have to get waxed and have to be able to do. Okay, so included in the membership is some of my modules of my course that I do. And so there's going to be 6 modules of the Let's Get Hired course that's going to be in the membership for you to go through in your own time. Sorry, I didn't remove the old date there, I see. Okay, module 1 is an introduction to teaching ESL, developing important skills and checklists, problems and shooting and assessments, achieving success, looking at demo lessons, practicing demo lessons, building yourself a profile for your teaching platforms. And then we're going to look at in depth about teaching platforms. So just this alone is going to give you a really good start in your online teaching career. It's like all the things that you need to get yourself that good job and get yourself hired is all in these modules, and that's going to be available in the community. The community is run in School, which is an app, which is really great because it has different areas. Like it has a classroom and it has a chat section. It has all the different places, so everything is kind of in one. I don't know if you guys have heard of School before, but it is a really great app, and that is where the community is run from. So just that the Let's Get Hired course modules that are in there is worth that amount of money. But you're not paying this. This is what it was worth when I was busy doing the course, but that's what you get in. Okay, so that's free in the community. And you get an updated company list of, as a bonus, of 400 different places that you can apply to, which is quite nice. You're also going to get an income and lesson tracker as a bonus. Okay. I just decided I was tired of living my life on someone else's terms, and I wanted to claim back my power by upskilling myself, I invested in coaches and learned online teaching business. I even did a life skill course as well in this last year. So I've kind of really upskilled myself over the last few years. And I learned how to create a course. I learned how to deliver courses, and I know all of that from scratch. So I went on a course that taught me how to build a course, if that makes sense. Okay. Which is really great. Okay, so, oh, sorry, wrong way. I just want to see, how do I go back? Trying to go back here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so what it costs is, it's going to be $59, but for anyone, the first 50 people that get in, it's only $25, and that's about 450 Rand with the exchange rate that goes up and down. I know someone said yesterday it was about 428 Rand. And I'm going to paste the link here for you guys so that you can just copy it and you can go check it out. Yeah, so it's $25 and there's no strings attached. You can join, and if you don't like it at the end of the month, Okay, it was Celeste. She was the one checking it out. Um, if you don't like it, then there's no strings attached. You just leave at the end of the month that you paid for. So you can stay as long as you want to, but I'm hoping that once you're in, you don't want to leave. Okay. And we are going to really do a lot of um Apunam, when you pay, when you go onto the app, it's going to give you a chance to pay on the app. Like everything is like completely automated on there. So you can just pay with your debit card or your credit card. It's like it's got all the payment options and everything is on there. So it's really easy, simple. It's not like those complicated things. Okay, so um, and then it will just so it will be a membership, so it will come off on the same time every month. And if you don't want to do it anymore, you just cancel it, and then it's just canceled, and then you don't pay for it anymore. Okay, yeah. So let's have a look at what you're going to be getting. Um, yes, for anyone that joins now, you're going to have it at $25. Your price will never go up. It's going to stay the same. It's only once I get to, it's a really nice app because I can set it like I want to set it. So I can say for the first 10 people, it's going to be this much. And then when I reach that, it's going to jump to that. And when I get that, it will jump to that. So your price will always be what you pay when you join. It's never going to go up. That's the price that it will be stay at. So what you're going to get inside is weekly content drops. Each week you get new, easy to follow lessons. So lesson plans, lesson tips, strategies, focused, just letting someone in. Focus on topics like how to find students, market yourself online, create great lessons. Everything is designed to help you take action and see results really quickly. There's daily motivation and focus. So you're going to have every day, there's going to be something to help you. This is where my life coaching skills comes in. I start every day with a positive mindset. You're going to receive daily inspiration quotes and quick little challenges to help you stay consistent, confident, and excited about your online teaching journey. Okay, so I'm here to support you for that. You're going to get 2 monthly live Zoom calls. We'll have a calendar. They're going to be plotted into the calendar. Um, and there's going to be live coaching, Q&A sessions, anything that's troubling you that you can bring to these calls. And then every second month, there's going to be a special guest speaker that will either be teaching you something about online teaching or something about business or practical advice, um, something that's going to help you to develop in your teaching career, which is great because I've used a lot of that in this last year. Step-by-step resources, you can access a growing library of templates, checklists, lesson plans. Okay, there's a lot of stuff in there for it is monthly, Bernadette. It will be the same date as whatever date you join, that would be your date for your monthly. So that I'm going to add in like even some like little books and stuff that you can use for your lessons. They're supportive. So like a little bit of a curriculum and stuff. There'll be some curriculum stuff in there as well. Then there's going to be the community that you can ask questions. People can help to answer questions, and we are there to all support each other in a safe, positive environment. Yes, there is an option for a once-off payment for the year, and then it's actually cheaper because you save 2 months by paying for the whole year. So there is a once-off payment if you want to do that, Ismail. You can pay for the whole year, and then you get 2 months basically free if you're paying for the whole year. Ongoing growth and accountability. You stay motivated to reach your goals with consistent check-ins. Okay, so again, and if you're ready to get going, I did put the link in. I know you can't copy it off my slides. You can take a screenshot, but it's quite a long link. I'll put it in here again. Just save it, and then you've got it. Okay, let's get going with what we're doing today. Sometimes we feel drained with little time to spend with our family, with our loved ones, and things that we're truly passionate about. Okay. But you want more. You want to choose how and when and where you work, and you crave true freedom and flexibility in your work and life. Okay. And that's what I want to really achieve and help you to do in in this membership, is really get you going and get you started and make sure that you are on your way to becoming a successful, financially free teacher. Okay. And you can develop yourself in such a way that eventually you can create your own curriculum. You can go into doing interviews. You can create your own course. There's so much different options that you can go into eventually with your way. I know I saw someone yesterday was an engineer, someone was a flight attendant, and you can use all of those kind of things to create English courses and things for yourself if you just know how to do it. Okay. So let's get into tonight's meaty stuff, the fundamentals of starting as a thriving online teacher. Okay, I want to go through the differences of working for an online teaching platform, a school, or going independent. Okay, so there's a difference. So working for an online school offers stability and it offers structure. Here are some key points to consider when you are doing that. Yes, there's a payment per month. Okay, so there's a payment per month. It's $25 per month. So that's a once-off payment per month. Okay, so you're going to pay every month for however long you're in the membership. If you want to pay for the whole year, then it's $250 for the whole year. So you get into 2 months basically free with that. But otherwise, it's $25 a month or 400 and whatever it is with the exchange rate, about 450 Rand. Okay, so when you work for an online school, you're going to have a lot of stability and you're going to have structure. But here are some things that you really want to consider. Okay, so you have guaranteed students. Online schools have an existing student base, which eliminates the need for teachers to actively search for their own students. Okay, whereas on a marketing platform and when you're independent, you're going to have to search for your own students. When you work for an online school, they're going to provide the students. So they'll take your introduction video and they're going to put it onto their website. And when parents come and do their trial lesson with whoever's doing trial lessons, and they fit them in, they'll have a look and see who they want to go with. And you're going to start building up a student base. But you don't actually look for the students. The school will give you students. So you are not able to look for your own students here. But if a student likes you, they're going to keep on booking with you. But some places like, for instance, Magic Ears, you never get the same students. You always get different students, and the school gives it and fills up your slots with those students. Another really great pro with working for an online school is that they give you a curriculum and they give you resources. The schools often provide you ready-to-use curricula, lesson plans, teaching materials, making preparation more convenient for you. You kind of show up, turn your camera on, and you're busy teaching in the classroom. There's technical support. Online schools typically offer technical assistance, ensuring smooth teaching experiences for teachers and for students. Fixed schedules, teachers work according to predetermined schedules, enabling a sense of routine and reliability. You kind of know what you're going to be getting. You're going to say to them, I'm available from, let's use South African time. I'm available from 11 a.m. South African time to 4 p.m. South African time, which is peak Beijing time. And you will have that time open. So you have to be available for that time, because sometimes you get students when you might have open slots, but you have to still be available because all of a sudden you might get a student that comes in. So if you've told them you're available from Monday to Saturday or Monday to Sunday at that certain time, you kind of have to be available for those times that you've said, unless you've closed your schedule off for those times. So even if you don't have a student, often you might get emergency student that kind of just pops in. Okay, so a lot of schools work like that. And that's a little bit scary because you don't know what you get in, and all of a sudden you didn't have a lesson and now you do have a lesson. But once you get used to how that works, it's not so scary. But in the beginning, that is kind of a really scary thing. Excuse me for drinking water. Do any of you work for an online school? Just pop it in the comments. Let me see if any of you are already working for an online school. Okay. So we have Christelle and Tish are working for online schools. Okay. Joining a teaching. Okay, and Minette. And the thing with the online school is one of the things is a lot of them sometimes if you are late or for your class or you have technical issues, then they might fine you as well. So you might get fined money if you are late for class or your internet suddenly dies. So there are those cons to teaching for an online school. Let's look at a teaching platform, which I really like. Teaching platforms offer flexibility and autonomy, but there are quite a few aspects that you need to consider. Okay. Um, Maybe just look at your introduction video, Yolanda, for Preply. Sometimes it can just be your how your introduction video is. So teaching platforms provide flexibility and autonomy, but your students' variety can be quite a big variety of different students. Teaching platforms allows educators to work with students from a lot of different backgrounds, cultures, age groups, enhancing their teaching experience. So you'll see like places like Preply, which we're talking about now, Amazing Talker, italki, all of those ones, they have students from across the whole world. Okay, so I know Preply has a lot of Eastern European students, a lot of Russian students, a lot of Ukrainian students. They have students from India. So kind of all of those and all those Eastern European countries that have a lot of that. Amazing Talker has a lot of Chinese, Taiwanese, Malaysian, all those Asian students, but they do also have from across the world as well. So it's kind of, you're going to get a variety of different students. And you're going to work with people from various backgrounds, cultures, age groups, which is great because you are enhancing your teaching experience. Personalized, you can have more freedom in customizing their lessons. You don't have to, like when you work for a school, they give you what you have to teach, and you have to make sure that you teach that lesson in your 25 minutes or your 50 minutes or however long your slot is with that student. And you have to make sure that you finish that lesson within that allocated time without finishing too early and without finishing too late. But with a teaching platform, you can kind of go at the student's pace. You can choose what you want to teach them, and you can go according to what their pace is. So often you will choose books to do with them. Like I use Oxford Discover a lot. Some students I'm doing phonics with them, or I do Reading Explorer, and you actually have the textbook and you have the workbook as well, and you kind of can work at the student's pace, which is very different when you're working in an online school because you're working according to the pace of the school and what they wanting you to do. You do have higher earning potentials on platforms. So they allow you to set your own rates. They kind of give you a guideline of what you need to be in without in that rate, but you can set your own rates, which gives you the opportunity to earn more than you would probably in a normal online school. Marketing, you have to promote your own services and attract your own students. So it's all about building a profile on the platform. So you have to make it really nice, use lots of emojis, short sentences. We'll go through that for those that are joining into the membership. Like we're going to be looking at how you can how you can build your profile to really make it stand out in Preply and in Amazing Talker and italki so that you attract those students. And obviously, your introduction video has to be really good because it's going on your profile where the people come in, they're looking through hundreds and thousands of teachers to see who they want to choose. Okay, so you have to stand out from the crowd and make yourself look good. So you have to learn how to promote your services. So that's different from online school as well. Okay, and then the third way of doing things is to go independent. Okay, so becoming an independent teacher. Okay, Tish, I would say up your profile. Okay, so that's like a really important thing, especially on Amazing Talker. I've worked on Amazing Talker for years. You may have to make sure that your profile is like really good, and keep updating your introduction video. It's really like that's like the thing that they're really looking for, and that's the first thing people see when they come onto a marketing platform. Okay, so going independent is really the way to get control of your teaching career, and that's your ultimate freedom. That's the goal. This is the thing that you are working towards. But you have complete control over your own schedule, your curriculum, your teaching methods, and what you want to charge. If you want to run a special, you run a special. If you want to put your prices up, you put your prices up. You are in control. It's your business. You have to you keep all of your income without sharing something with a third-party platform or without an organization. Obviously, an online school charges whatever they're going to charge, and they take off and they only pay the teachers a small little bit like this. My marketing platform, like I'll just give Amazing Talker, for instance, you start the beginning of the month with them taking 30% off whatever you earn. The more hours you work, the less the percentage goes in the month. So if you work a lot of hours, you're going to pay less commission to the platform at the end of the month. So the more you work, the less commission that you pay, the more hours that you do. But whereas when you're independent, you get to keep all the money yourself. Obviously, you have to pay for a booking calendar and a payment app that people can actually pay you. So you have to consider those costs as well. And like I pay for classing and I pay for Zoom. So there's all those extra little costs that you do have to pay, which you wouldn't pay with the marketing platforms and you wouldn't pay it with the online school. Okay, so you have to find your own students, you have to market yourself. So this is going to give you a lot of extra effort that you're going to have to do, and you're going to constantly have to be self-promoting yourself. Okay, if you are really good with your students and your students like you, they're going to talk to their friends about you, and that's a great way to get students. You can give an incentive to them as well. Like my students know, if they refer someone to me, they do a trial lesson with me, their friend does a trial lesson with me, and if they buy a package, then they're going to get a free lesson out of it. So they like to refer people to me because they're going to get a free lesson out of it. And so that's a really great incentive to do as well. Okay, so, but there's a lack of support. Independents are often, you don't have technical assistance. You have to really learn to do all the tech stuff yourself, because you don't have that. And you have to just be prepared to handle any crisis that might happen along the way. You don't have any backup. So it's nice to be in a community as well where you get a little bit of support. Okay, let's look at lesson planning and materials. Okay, so understanding actually, before I go on, does anyone work for a market? I know I've seen a few people say Preply and Amazing Talker. Is anyone here an independent teacher? You work for yourself or you are on a marketing platform that hasn't said? Okay, you still teaching a traditional. I have a demo lesson coming up and I feel nervous. Demo lessons are a bit scary, but I can really say, like we said last night, like you really need to, you have to practice, okay? The more, and if you get the curriculum before the time that you know what you're going to be doing, just really practice it and try and get those props as well. If it's a kid, try and have some props available and to remember to have teacher talking time and student talking time, that just student gets more talking time than that you talk. Okay, so it's completely different. In the traditional classroom, we as teachers talk and talk and talk, and everyone listens to us. Your students aren't allowed to talk in the class, where it's completely different in an online teaching scenario. Okay, Tish, you've got some private students. That's great. Okay, so lesson planning and materials, like understanding the basics. Like you have to understand what the language proficiency level of your student is. I try and find this out before I start my lesson with them, because this helps me to know what am I going to do to tailor the lesson to their needs and to their ability. So you have to take into account cultural backgrounds, interest of your students, incorporating topics and materials that are relevant and interesting to them, and can enhance their engagement and motivation. And it can become tricky. Like, obviously, if you're working for online school, they're going to give you what you're going to be teaching. But if you're on a marketing platform, you're teaching independently, maybe you get a 10 or 11 or a 12-year-old or a 14-year-old student that's a beginner. And you can't give them like baby things or things that would be suitable for a 6-year-old. You have to give them something that's interesting and relevant to them, but still is a beginner friendly for them. So it's like you have to tailor things to your specific student. And so you want to really set clear learning objectives for lessons. Like that's if you're on a marketing platform and you are working for yourself. Obviously, you don't need to do this when you're working for an online school. Structure your lessons in a way that includes like a variety of different activities to keep them actively engaged. Because remember, you're teaching online, you don't want them to fall asleep. They're already so tired. If you're teaching Chinese or Asian students, their school schedule is hectic from when they start in grade 1 to, and the older they get, the longer they stay at school. So it's very different to South Africa. And when you get to the students that are in grade 6 or grade 7 and grade 8, they're probably staying at school to 9 o'clock in the night. I mean, it's a long, long, long day for them. Then they still have to come home and do homework and fit in English lessons and maths lessons and extra Chinese lessons. And it's really hectic for them. So you want to make sure that you have something that's really engaging and it's going to keep them on task and not falling asleep during the lesson. And you want to consider your timing and the pacing of your lessons as well. So like maybe you need like shorter activities and more frequent changing in what you do to maintain the students' focus and avoid them getting like tired. Even with the adult students, you want to keep them engaged and on task. Oh no, I have to try and get this to go back. This is the first time I'm using Canva. Well, yesterday was the first time. Okay, so you can get a diverse range of materials like online articles, videos, audio clips, interactive activities to cater to different learning styles. But you want to make sure that it's using like real world language and things that will help the student to develop practical language skills. Incorporating like visual aids and multimedia can really enhance their lessons a lot. And you have to always make sure that you're adapting materials for online use. So ensure that all materials are accessible and easy to use in an online classroom. So like digital worksheets, interactive whiteboards, online quizzes, they can make your experience dynamic and engaging. Okay, so you also want to make sure that whatever you're doing, that your student like really understands what you're asking them to do as well. So again, you have to consider what is their English ability. Like even I have a 10-year-old who's a beginner student, and they didn't even understand what I meant when I said circle this, like circle something. So you have to really make sure that you're doing things that they're able to actually do according to their level. So let's go on. Okay. So if you're already teaching online, Let me know what kind of materials do you use? Do you use materials that are given to you by the online school, or do you use your own materials? Let's have a look what everybody is busy doing that's already teaching. I am, but I teach in a country from abroad. I'd like to try with foreign students. Okay. Miriam, where are you from? Okay, let's go on. Oh, Georgia. Wow, okay, that's great. It's nice to it's nice to work with foreign students as well because you get to learn like their different cultures and you get to do different things that what you would experience from home. Chesh said, in addition to the materials from the online school, I use a Bridge Academy. It's excellent. Her stuff is really good. Better class lessons and my own materials. Good. Manette's parent book specific lessons, textbooks that's given by the company I teach for. I use the materials given to me, but I bring some of my own activities in as well. Yes, that's always good to do that. And it's so good to try and like have some extra activities if you think that maybe your lesson might be finished too quickly. Like sometimes with the online schools, they might give the students something that's like really easy for them and they race through the lesson and then you have all this time at the end and you're not allowed to finish the lesson too quickly. So it's good to make sure that you do have some extra things in the bag. Okay, good. Okay, so let's look at engaging and managing an online classroom. So establishing a positive learning environment is so important. Like begin each class with a warm-up activity or an icebreaker just to create a positive and inclusive atmosphere. If any of you have done, a Bridge Academy has got for their curriculum, they do have a free option with a couple of lessons, and then after that you do have to pay um, for like a monthly subscription. And but they do give you like this, like there's a few lessons that are like free lessons that you can try out first before you actually have to join. So having a warm-up activity or icebreaker is really great. It helps the students feel comfortable, connected, even in a virtual setting. And my students all know this is how we start our lesson. It's our routine of starting. They know the questions probably that I'm going to ask them. And so those that are not very good at English, maybe their moms practice a little bit with them at home. I think so because I have one new student that knows now what I'm going to ask her. That I'm going to ask her, how was your day? Did you go to school today? Can you tell me three things you did at school? And maybe I'll ask her, what did she have for dinner on that day? And so her mom helps her and she comes and she has learned what she wants to say to me. But it helps her to feel relaxed because she's not stressed about that. And it just relaxes her and she's starting to chat a little bit more to me in the beginning of the lesson. Okay, so you want to use positive reinforcement and encouragement to create a supportive learning environment. So it's praise your students for the efforts and achievements to boost their confidence and motivation. If you like Zoom, if you're using Zoom, there's all those little new things that you can give people for doing well on Classing. There's those trophies that go up, or you can make your own gifts and to give to people. It just really is gives them a lot of motivation. So you want to incorporate interactive activities like polls and quizzes and discussions, um, and use your tools like online whiteboards. I've never used a breakout room, but apparently they're really good. But I don't really do a lot of group lessons. I sometimes do group lessons, like now it's Halloween coming up, so I'm busy doing a Halloween group class. But besides that, I don't really do too many group activities, and I mostly teach one-on-one students. And but it's nice when you do have a group activity, and some online schools do have group lessons like Magic Ears do have groups. And it's nice because the students kind of interact with each other as well. So it's nice to get, but you do often get students with different abilities that are in one class together. So you have to learn how to manage all of that. Um, you want to also use like, obviously, when you're having a group of students, you're going to get students with different learning styles as well. So you want to be able to like cater to those learning styles as well. Which is also really important. And again, using multimedia elements like videos, audio clips, and interactive presentations just to add richness and depth to your lessons. Okay. Obviously, if you're working for online school, you can't do any of this stuff. You have to kind of stick to what they are wanting you to do. But if you're not, you can really make your lessons fun and enjoyable for your students so that they're not falling asleep. And the object is you want them to stay with you for a really long time. You don't want to keep on looking for more and more students. You want to be able to be comfortable with the students you have. And it's great if they stick around, especially if they're nice students. Okay. Time management is so important. Okay, you're going to have a lot of lessons are like 25 minutes, which gives you 5 minutes in between each lesson. Or sometimes students have 50. Preply used to have an hour, but I think they've cut down to 50 minutes now as well. 50 minutes is great because you have that time after the lesson before your next lesson starts. Great question, Yolanda. When starting out, which is better to start with a school or a marketing site? I would say if you're not confident and you've never taught before, start with an online school because they're going to give you the curriculum. And that's what I did. I'd started with a school that was, they find you for everything. It was very stressful. But it got me to be really good at what I did because I was so scared of losing all my money from from teaching. So I made sure I was always on time, always had everything prepared. I made my lessons last the right amount of time. So it's good to get you into the swing of things, and online school is great. And then from when you've got the experience with the online school, then definitely will move to a marketing site because you can then use that experience that you've had in the online school and you can put it into your profile to make your profile look nice and say, oh, I've taught so many classes or I've done so many hours of lessons. It's going to just definitely help you along the way. Um, and then you can, if you're doing like formal assessments as well, some students want you to formally assess them as well. You can do that as well. And feedback after every lesson, you're going to be feeding back to the parents, just a short feedback as to just a tip with feedback. Obviously, in our membership, we go through this a lot, but you don't want to just copy and paste the same feedback for every single student because a lot of students that you have might have friends that you're teaching as well, and you don't actually know you have that friend. And they, especially some of the Asian students, they compare their feedbacks, okay? And so like change things up a bit. So don't just copy and paste the exact same feedback. You need to like think about it and try and change it up a bit. You can use ChatGPT as well to help you if you have to do like a big amount of feedback back. You can make your notes during your lesson, put those notes into ChatGPT, and it can create you a feedback form as well, which will help you as well with that. And I make notes as I go along every day. Like I have this book always on my desk. So I'll just, as I go, like tomorrow, my students are written down on there. And as I go along in the day, I'll just like, Lex has got 50 minutes. So I'm going to write next to his name all my notes that I want to do as I go, Cynthia, Veronica. And as I go, I'll make my notes and then I can use that I've made my notes. I can go back if I don't have time in between each lesson. I can go back at the end of the day with my book and I can add their feedback in because I can put it all together. But it's really important. And a lot of online schools won't pay you, and even Amazing Talker, like you won't get your payment until you've done the feedback. So you have to do your feedback, press your complete before the money gets credited to you. If you don't do the feedback within a certain amount of time, then you might not get paid for that lesson. So it's really an important thing to do. Okay, so you want to make sure that you know how the platform works and what tools you need to be able to do your online class. Okay, especially you're working with an online school, you want to know what are they using? Are they using Zoom? Are they using Classroom? Are they using their own platform? And you want to really make yourself familiar with what they are using so that you don't get to a lesson and you don't know how to use the tools. You don't know where the writing tools are. You don't know how to um, like draw a circle or be able to write something if you need to chat to them. Like if you needed to say hi, how are you? Like you need to know how to do all of those things and to be able to clear things away if you want to. Okay, so you need to know how everything works. Obviously, Classing is a bit more complicated than Zoom as well because it has more features in it. Okay, so but these platforms that you use can help to give you the interactive learning that you need to help you to teach correctly. Okay. I'm just looking at the time. We're still good. Okay. For those that are teaching in the classroom now, um, maybe you can pop it in the chat box. What do you do to manage your classroom behavior? How do you keep your students on task? There's a question for you, those of you that are teaching already. You can maybe answer that, and we'll go through that. Okay, let's look at classroom management. And that is an important thing. It refers to the skills and the techniques teachers use to make their classrooms an orderly place where learning can happen. Okay, so this is really important in an online classroom too, not just in a traditional classroom. It's important in an online classroom too. We all want our classrooms to be like this, but it doesn't happen by magic. Okay, and you may find you have trouble maintaining a positive environment in your online classroom because sometimes the younger students are okay. But once you start getting to students that are maybe 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years old, they might not be wanting to do English lessons and their parents are forcing them to do the lessons and they might have a little bit of attitude about themselves, okay? So you need to know how to manage that behavior in the classroom. I had a student today, I think he's 11 years old, and he kept closing the program. Like every time I opened the program, he would close it. And so eventually I had to disable his tools so that he couldn't close the program again. And then he wasn't very happy with me because he likes to be able to write his stuff down. So I said, okay, I'll give you back your writing tool, but you can't close the program again. And he was good off. And after that, he didn't do it again. Thank goodness. Okay. So there are many reasons why a student may act inappropriately in a lesson. It's important to be informed so that you can implement effective classroom behavior management. So here are some reasons. A student doesn't know what to do because works in a traditional classroom and an online classroom. Maybe the task you've asked them to do, they just don't understand it. It's not clear to them. So what you want to do is you want to give like clear instructions, um, clear instructions, step by steps, like do an example together with the group or with a student. If it's a speaking activity, model it first with a student, like show them what to do first. And then check that they've actually understood it. Because often you say to them, oh, do you understand do you know what to do? And they'll say yes, but they just say yes. Okay. But so you want to say, like, or I'll say to them, do you understand what this word means? And then they'll say yes. So, okay, I said, okay, tell me what that means. Okay. Or tell me what you need to do. And then you can like really check that they do actually understand. But if you are showing them what to do, then it's always is a lot better. Sometimes the task is too easy for them or it's too difficult for them. And this can be when they maybe play up if something is too difficult for them. They just don't understand what to do. And then maybe you're going to have to bring the task down a level for them. I've had times when I've done lessons, I've gone into like a trial lesson and the parents have told me, my child has been learning English for 4 years. When I say what's your child's English level like? No, they've been learning English for 4 years. Then you're expecting them to like be able to like at least read a little bit and maybe do some of the activities and understand what you have to say. But then when the lesson comes, they can't actually even speak a word of English, even though they've been doing English for 4 years, or so they say. Okay, so then you have to improvise while you're busy doing your lesson. And I always have a backup lesson when I'm doing a trial lesson. So I'll always have something. I'll choose something according to what the parents have told me that the student can do. And then I'll have something that's a lower level available, and I'll have something that's a higher level available, just in case. So if I see, okay, from my chats before the time, in the beginning chat that I do with them, okay, this student I can see is a little bit above what the parents are saying, then I'll just going to quickly change the lesson. So it's a good thing to have something like that in hand when you need it. Okay. And the student, like maybe you talking too much and the student isn't involved enough. Maybe they feel left out, or then they start to behave inappropriately. So you want to really try and involve those kind of students by giving them extra responsibilities or leadership roles in the classroom. Okay, so I always get my students to read out aloud. Like if they can read, like get them to read the questions that you wanted to ask them. It really helps and keeps them on task. Okay, I get some of my students do some writing as they go along as well. So do stuff to keep them involved all the time so that they don't get bored. Especially when you get students that are distracted. There's lots of distractions everywhere. Um, and students can, like sometimes you do lessons and parents are fighting in the background, or I've done lessons at the other day. It's been Golden Week in China, so everyone's out and about. So I've done a lesson in the zoo this week. I've done a lesson in a restaurant. I've done a lesson on a train, in an aeroplane, waiting for the aeroplane to take off. And so all of these things are like really distracting and difficult. And in a car trip while they're traveling somewhere, and you kind of have to just adapt and like really do what you can to bring your student back on task. And then you have the student that maybe plays games while you're busy doing the lesson. Like, you know, they're playing a game because you can see they're playing a game. You can't see the actual game, but they all laugh and stuff, and you know they're not laughing about the lesson. So then you have to kind of make them do something extra so that they can't actually play the game. Okay. So it's good to set clear rules, like make your student know, like this is what the ground rule is from the first day that you have them as a student. Set out your expectation. It will have a positive impact on your online learning environment. Make your classroom management plan, like plan for a smooth lesson. This really does help. And decide in advance how students will, what they're going to do in their activities, okay, and have a routine. Like especially if you're teaching children, you want to make sure you have a routine. Like I always start with like 2 minutes or 3 minutes of my lesson when we start is always chatting about their day, talking about what they've done, and what they're going to do. Okay, then we go into maybe like the opener to what we're going to do in the lesson structure, and at the end we'll chat about what we did in the day, like what we did in the lesson. And then I always say to them, this is the end. Then they get their trophies and whatever they've done for however many I'm going to give them at the end of the lesson. And then I say to them, oh, what you going to do next? Okay, and then they have to tell me what they're going to do next, and then I say goodbye to them. And that is my routine for my younger students. And they know that's their routine. They know what to expect them when they come to my classroom, and they feel comfortable in that. So starting and ending your lesson in the same way every time is really good to get students to feel at ease. And the parents like it too. They like that extra bit of talking that you do with them. And it helps to go into this next point, and that's to build a relationship with your students. So every teacher eventually develops your own classroom management style, right? And it's really good to build a rapport with your students, because you want those students to to stay with you. So like you get to know them, you get to know who their brothers and sisters are, you get to know what they like, what they don't like, what sport they play, what subjects they do at school, when their birthday is, where they've been on family holidays. I can tell you about some of my students' family holidays that they've been on, because I've been teaching them for so long that you get to know the ins and outs of them. Um, and you want to really praise them when they've done something good. Like you want to really have that positive reinforcement. And that just gives them like, it helps to encourage them to keep going, and it makes them feel proud. Okay. I'm not going to go into this now. I just want to go to, sorry, I'm just going to skip this section now. Okay. I just want to look at some platforms that we teach on. So an online platform is one of the most important tools that you're going to need as a teacher. Without a reliable platform, you have no ways of connecting with your students worldwide. And you would be limited to growing your business locally, which has limitations when you target your audience and they are living abroad. Okay. Many teachers use software such as Zoom or Classroom. Okay. Those are the most popular ones. Often companies have their own integrated platforms. Like Amazing Talk is like integrating their own platform at the moment. Preply has got their own platform. Um, and so a lot of online schools have their own platforms. But over the last 2 years, new companies are offering online platforms designed with teachers in mind. Okay, so it's definitely becoming a lot easier to use the online platforms, and there are a lot more tools available to use in the platform's means. The technology really is starting to offer better tools. Like even Zoom, you can see there's a whole lot of new tools on Zoom that was never there before. And Classroom has just done a bit of an upgrade as well, which helps to really up your lesson a little bit with the technology. Okay, so let's start with Zoom, which is probably the most well-known platform on our list. Zoom as an online platform for teachers can work really well. There is an alternative Chinese one that's called Vuve. It's by Tencent, or I think Technologies. It's free. So sometimes the Chinese students want you to use that. It doesn't work very well on a Mac. I've got a MacBook. It lags a lot. So I prefer to use Classroom and rather pay um, for my software than to use Vuve. But Vuve and Zoom are very, very similar. The tools and everything are the same. Um, It offers an easy ways for students to connect with you via a class link or a code. Works exactly the same on Vuve. Once in the class, you and your students can use the whiteboard, chat box, and screen sharing functions. Like I'm using screen sharing now. It also has emojis that students can use to interact with in class, which can work very well in group classes where students can use the hand emoji to raise their hand, maybe to ask you a question. You can record your classes, which is a great feature that many online teachers like. These recordings can then be sent to your students to review after class. And if you are a new teacher just starting out, then maybe you don't have a lot of money to start off with. Zoom offers a free plan up to 40 minutes. So if you are offering 25 minutes lessons, then you wouldn't have to pay for Zoom at all. But I pay for Zoom because I have a lot of 50-minute lessons. And sometimes when my students are training for KET or PET, like I do an hour and a half lessons with them just for extra boost before their exams. So then you have to buy the pro version of Zoom, okay, which cost about $119 to $149 a year. Okay, which is about $15 a month, $16 a month, which is about, I think it's about 260 Rand I paid this last month for Zoom, once a month. But you can get away with using the free plan until you start doing longer lessons. Okay, the pros is you have a free plan up to 40 minutes with fewer than 100 people. So you can have up to 100 people and you have a 40-minute time limit. But the great thing about it is when your time limit is up, you can just go back in using the same link again. So you just say to everyone, oh, our time's up, just reconnect again, and they can come back in again. Obviously, it's not nice when you're doing a classroom situation. It's a very, very, very reliable program, and it has the ability to record. The cons is it doesn't have too many interactive features. It's quite basic, but they have upgraded it a lot. Students can't easily engage with the materials without using the annotation tools or with sharing their controls. And I don't ever share my controls with my students because I don't want them taking control of my computer. But you can enable the annotation tools for them, and then they can use those. But it's a little bit difficult. It's not easy like with Classroom. Okay, so Classroom is a really old platform that has been around for quite a long time. It's well known and is actually used by several of the old big ESL companies and their teaching platform. So you'll see a lot of Chinese companies still use Classroom as one of their main platforms that they use. So you need to learn how to use this platform. Believe me, you need to know how to use this platform. You can sign up for a free account, and it gives you a certain amount of lessons free a month, I think 10 or 20. It used to be 20, but I think they've recently cut it down to 10. But when I first started at my first company at Kasok, and they taught me how to use their platform. Okay, and they didn't tell me anything about Classroom. And when I got my first day schedule and these lessons popped up, that I wasn't expecting lessons to pop up because I was just had to wait for I'd opened 7 hours schedule, and I didn't at the beginning of the day, I had like 2 lessons on there, which were on the actual teaching platform. And the next minute there were all these Classroom lessons, and I didn't know, what does Classroom mean? And I tried to log on to the platform, and it wasn't the right thing, and I got fined, and I didn't know that I needed to have Classroom. And I think they just some companies do opt for Teams now. It depends where you're teaching. I don't record. Sometimes if the parent asks me to record my class, then I will record it for them and send it to them. But besides from that fact, I don't record them because it takes up a lot of space on your computer. But if they do request it, then I will record it for them. On Classroom, when you record, it takes a lot of, I don't know what you say, like bandwidth maybe. It makes your computer super slow. And it makes it lag. So I would only do it if someone really asks. But a lot of the companies, they record automatically the lessons if you're with an online classroom teaching platform. And Amazing Talker, they have that facilities that the parents can actually turn it on if they want to record the lesson. So yes, so some of them do. So I would say you definitely need to learn how to use Classroom. It's very important. So sign up for Classroom. Teach yourself how to use it. There's lots of tutorials on the internet that will tell you exactly how to use Classroom. It has great features helping you to run your business effectively. Like I download all my programs and everything onto Classroom. It's stored in Classroom on the Classroom site. So when I go in to put someone's lesson on, I just go into my drive that's on Classroom. I can open. So I don't share my screen in Classroom. Everything's there already. I open the book I want, and it's got great interactive tools as well. I love Classroom. It's just quite expensive. You're able to send messages to students and it translates it to them. You're able to attach different files. You can, on the chat box that's outside of it, you can grade their homework. You can produce learning reports for every student. You are able to make breakout rooms. I've never used that facility. There's a timer. There's a dice, which is great for playing games with. There's quiz questions, and you can upload all your teaching materials into your classroom. It's a fantastic program. I love this platform. It's like my favorite platform. So some people don't like it though, but I really do like it. I'm just trying to go back. I missed that page. Okay. So although it's got lots of tools integrated, it even has a visual reward for students to receive, which is like a big trophy. So I make my students' pictures big at the end, and their trophy comes out like their whole picture. Um, the co-browser function is not very good. Okay, so but they can draw and they can write. So if you're doing a writing exercise, they're able to do that. Um, it has a free version, but it only gives you a limit of 40-minute class, and I think it was 20 a month, and I'm sure it's only 10 a month now. You can pay for the whole year, which costs like $300 for the whole year, but I buy minutes with it. So I probably spend like 250 Rand a week on classing because most of my lessons are on classing. Okay. So probably it's a lot more expensive than Zoom. But I run most of my independent classes are run on classing. It gives excellent teaching training tools. It helps you engage with your students and includes messaging and the ability to send files to your students from the same platform. It works well for Chinese students, very well for Chinese students, and it has a translation tool. So like if it's an older student, they're trying to tell me something and they just really don't know, can't get the English word out, I'll say to them, just type it in the chat box. Then they can type it in the chat box. I can translate it into English. And then I can say, oh, this is what you're talking about. This is the English word. So it's great. It's really nice. The basic plan or the con is not sufficient for if you are an established teacher that's going to have more than 10 classes a month or 20 classes a month. Its pro plan is quite expensive when compared to like its competitors. Okay, if you compare it to Zoom, it's a lot more expensive than Zoom. I guess if you are paying for the whole year, like if you had to pay $300 for the whole year with unlimited, that would probably work out cheaper. But you have to have the $300 to pay that big chunk out. I pay as I need it. And then that's like $18 every time. So I'll top up maybe once a week or so. Okay. Maybe you still have questions like what payment gateways are best to use? How do I find students? How do I find a curriculum? What software do I use? Do I teach for an online school or do I apply at a marketing platform? How do I apply? How do I get everything on? How do I decide on my niche? Okay. And so all of those kind of things are I would say, like, for me, I love teaching. When I was a teacher, obviously, I taught younger students. So I've always enjoyed teaching kids. So I decided to stick mostly with kids. I have a couple of adult students that I teach for business because I did do business at school, and I've run a couple of businesses. But I would say my heart is with kids. So yes, so you can choose a niche. Obviously, if you're working for online school, you can't choose a niche because they're going to give you whatever they are going to give you. But if you're working for a marketing platform, you're going to choose your niche, especially like with Amazing Talker, Preply, you're going to say what you want to teach. Amazing Talker, you can be so specific. You can put down all of the kind of subjects that you want to teach. And it's only going to send out your information to those students. So it's good to have a niche. And if you are independent teacher, it's really good. No, you do get places that will only have adult students, and obviously adult students are willing to pay more than what maybe parents would pay for kids, although I firmly believe it should be the other way around. But you'll find people pay you more to like do alters and to do business English and travel English than what they would to paying their kids for kids English. So definitely you would it might take you longer to get those students. And another con with teaching adults is maybe they don't stick around as long as what a kid's student do. My children's students have been with me for 4 years, some of them 5 years now. So they stick around for a really long time because they like the stability of the same teacher. Whereas an adult sometimes will do a package or a program with you and then they'll try somebody else and then maybe they'll come back to you. So yeah, there's pros and cons to it. Yeah, but there's like, it's good to have a niche though, especially if you are going into independent teaching because you know what you want to market. And you're not going to be too broad. You're going to condense yourself down so that you can find, um, and you also want to do what you enjoy teaching. Like if you don't like teaching kids, then don't go and teach kids. Go and do something that you really like. Because this ultimately is going to be a business for you. And you want to find out where you fit in and what you're going to be passionate about, because that's where you're going to do well with doing that. So I think it is. If any of you do know what niche, before we go to our Q&A that we're going to have in a minute, but if you do have a niche that you are specifically interested in, let me know what it is. Like if you can think of something that you really think that you would like to teach, like is it business English to adults from a certain country? Is it teaching kids of a certain age? Like what do you want to speak? Do conversational English? Do you want to teach grammar? Do you want to teach vocabulary? Like there's all the different things that you can go into and specialize in. Do you want to teach specifically for exams? You got to think about what do you actually like to do. Okay, just a reminder that this is the link for that. If anyone is interested in the membership and wants to find out more about it, I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about it tomorrow. And I have got a special bonus for anyone who does want to join. The replay from tonight's session and the link for tomorrow's session, if those adults 19 to 90. Okay, Bernadette. That's quite a big age range. Like maybe you want to get more specific maybe with that. So I am going to be running another shorter session tomorrow, maybe for like half an hour, just to really go into detail what you will get into in the membership and with a special bonus with that. So I will be sending out those emails later tonight. Let me just stop this. Share here quickly. Sorry, I'll see you guys in a minute. Oh, there we go. Okay. Anyone with any questions, just pop them into the chat box. Okay, so you can see like here, one of the things, there's these react buttons on Zoom, which are really cool. So I use these for my kids all the time. So you'll see there's like balloons and there's stars and there's all kinds of things that you can actually use. Okay, let's have a look at if there's any more questions. Still finding her niche. Does anybody have any more questions before we end? I feel more comfortable teaching from that age range. I'm not very confident with teaching kids. That's fine, Bernadette. It's fine to teach according to what you feel comfortable with teaching. Definitely go with what you feel comfortable with, and you can grow from that. Like, for me, I've always taught kids. So for me, I feel comfortable teaching kids. And that's why I chose that to do that. Anyone else with any questions? Hello, Salma. Salma was on one of my previous courses. And so was Poonam. I see Poonam's here too. Okay. Yes, Yolanda, if you like Google, and ChatGPT is really great. If you have ChatGPT, it's actually free. So download ChatGPT on your phone and you can actually ask it. Say, please give me 10 sites of schools or 10 schools for online teaching that will take, let's just use our country, like South African students with a degree, or South African students with just a TEFL certificate, and it's gonna give you all the different, and then you can even ask them for all the web addresses too. ChatGPT is fantastic. It's better than using Google, and it's absolutely free. Yes, I'm definitely going to be touching on, and you can ask me any question you want to about in the membership tomorrow night. Great, Bernadette, I'm glad you did. There we go. Lucille says, Educox is currently hiring. That's what else I will be doing in the membership as well. Like on a monthly or like on a weekly or monthly basis, we'll be looking at schools that are hiring and putting in so that you guys can start applying and looking at what the qualifications are for every school. If I also went into tutoring as well. Are you not Happy English is hiring? There we go. There's another school that's hiring. Do you have any advice for me if I also want into tutoring? I would say if you want to start tutoring, are you already an online teacher, or are you just thinking about starting to teach online? You say you want to go into tutoring as well. Great, Celeste. I'm glad it helped you out. Okay, Tish says she can refer people, so she must be. Are you on Happy English, Tish? Okay, there we go. So maybe just Tish says she can refer. Maybe she's got a referral. Do you have a referral link, Tish? Okay, great, Salma. Okay. So tomorrow we are Oh, okay. You did a lot of tutoring in varsity. That's great. So what you can do is you can use that experience of the tutoring you did in varsity and put it on your CV when you make your CV, because that's going to definitely help you. And you can work out how many hours you actually tutored in varsity and use those as tutoring hours of experience that you have. Okay, so there's Tish there saying, okay, oops, someone's in the waiting room. Okay, great, everybody. So I'm gonna send out that email tonight with the details for tomorrow night. If anyone wants to join in, anyone's interested in the membership, but you're not quite sure yet, we're gonna get there, and there will be a little bit of a bonus that I am going to be giving out as well. But thank you very much for joining. I hope this has helped you guys a little bit, that you feel more confident going into whatever you are going to be doing. And thank you so much for joining. And I will see you the next time. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow. For anyone that's going to be coming in tomorrow, I will send out those details. Have a good night, everybody.